Specialist at the Solid Waste Authority of Palm Beach County and West Palm Beach, Florida. And today we're going to be doing a Facebook Live presentation. We're going to be reading a little story, and then we're going to be practicing how to recycle right in Palm Beach County. Before I get started, I just want to remind you guys in the comments, if you can let us know where you are viewing this from, city, state, and country if you're in a different country, and also approximately how many people are viewing it with you, just so we can get some statistics and some data, okay? So let's get started. We're going to begin with a story. All right, so today we're going to be reading The Adventures of an Aluminum Can by Allison Inches. Hi, I'm a little speck of alumina. March 16th. Dear Diary, I used to live under the earth in a layer of bauxite rock. But not anymore. Today I woke up to the rumble and roar of gigantic bulldozers. The bulldozers got rid of all the trees, grass, dirt, and rocks from the ground above me. Then, kaboom! A huge dynamite blast blew up my home, and me along with it. The rock where I live was crushed into small pieces and loaded into railroad cars. Now we're on our way to the processing plant. I'll miss it here, but I'm excited to see where they're taking me. April 3rd. Hi, Diary. Another doozy of a day. I got crushed and ground into a fine powder. After a bath, I took a boat ride to a refinery. I like seeing and doing new things. Traveling is fun. Here at the refinery, the machines hum, whir, and buzz all day. First, the workers mixed me with chemicals. I felt fizzy inside and out. Then I turned into a mushy paste. After a steam bath and a super hot oven dry, I became a beautiful white powder called aluminum oxide. I wonder what comes next. April 8th. Hello, Diary. Today I had a chemical bath in a gigantic bathtub. They zapped me with electricity and I turned red hot. Then they pumped me into a mold, and when I came out, I was a long rectangular sheet of aluminum. Now I'm rolled up like a sleeping bag. I feel neat, tidy, and ready to go. P.S. Did you know that aluminum is used to make bicycle frames, chewing gum wrappers, and even airplanes? April 11th. Hats off, Diary. I got my top today. That's like a hat for a can. It's made from a sheet of aluminum that gets fed through a press that stamps out thousands of tops every minute. But first, I was stretched into the shape of a can and trimmed to just the right size. After, I was tested to make sure I had no holes. I was filled with delicious fruit. And then it happened, something I had never expected. I got a brand new label. Ta-da, Diary! I'm going to show off my new look now. Whee! May 14th. Hi, Diary. This past month at the manufacturing plant and the fruit cannery sure has been a lot of fun. Dressed in my fancy new label, I was put in a box with the 5 other cans of fruit. We were put in a truck and driven to a grocery store. I wasn't on the store shelf for long before a nice lady scooped me up. Guess where she took me next? To the park! I saw the greenest trees and the bluest sky I'd ever seen. Best of all, I saw my first baseball game. A girl with braids hit a home run and won the game. It was so exciting. When the game was over, the girl chose me and I celebrated as she ate the fruit. She said I was the best can of fruit ever. I love being an aluminum can. May 15th. Hello, Diary. The girl with braids took me home. She rinsed me out with water and put the game-winning baseball on top of me. I became a trophy on the girls' bookshelf. It was really fun until the ants came along and tickled me. The little girl's mom didn't like the ants either, so she put me in the recycling bin. Being a trophy was fun, but I was glad to get away from the ants. what's in store for me now. May 29th. Yeehaw, diary. I'm on the move again. I was taken to a sorting plant where I was separated from the glass and plastic and then squashed into a bale with other aluminum cans. Then our bale was taken to the aluminum recycling plant where we were cleaned, shredded, melted, and recast. This time, I'm an aluminum tube. June 1st. Hold on to your pages, diary. I've got big news. Today I got shipped to a baseball bat factory. I got made into a brand new aluminum bat. Here's what happened. They squeezed me through a mold and spun me round and round. I got really dizzy, but all that spinning gave me a perfect shape. Then I got a hot, salty bath and a heat treatment. After that, my ends were closed. No more peeking inside me. Later in the day, a knob and a non-skid wrapping were added to my handle. Now I won't slip out of a baseball player's hands. My favorite part of the day was when they shined me up and printed fun pictures and letters on my sides. I'm going to be the best bat ever. June 30th. Big news, diary. After I was packed, I was shipped to a sporting goods store. I stood straight and tall so everyone could see me. That afternoon, a boy named Robbie spotted me on the shelf. He turned me over and smiled. "This is the one," he whispered. I felt so proud. Tomorrow, I'll be playing in my first baseball game. And guess what? It's a championship game. I'm going to try my best to make Robbie proud. July 1st. Home run, diary. What a day. The bases were loaded and Robbie and I were at bat. He whispered, "Let's do it." Then, ping! Robbie got the winning hit. Fans jumped out of their seats and cheered. After Robbie rounded the bases, he picked me up and held me close. Now the fans were cheering for both of us. I hope I don't get recycled for a long time. The end. All right, guys, so there are some vocabulary words on the back that we're going to go over just in case you're confused about some of the words in the story, okay? So here's some new words from the Aluminum Cans Diary. Aluminum oxide. That's a white powder that looks like table salt and is melted to make aluminum and aluminum cans. A bale is a large bundle of the same items that are usually tied together so they are easier to move. And in our recovered materials processing facility, we have bales. We actually separate things and crush them into those big cubes. Bauxite is any kind of rock that contains aluminum oxide, the powder used to make aluminum. A cannery is a factory where cans are filled with things like fruit, vegetables, and tuna fish, and then sealed and labeled. A manufacturing plant is a factory that takes parts and supplies such as aluminum sheets and turns them into other items that can be sold or used, like aluminum cans. A processing plant is a factory where natural things like rocks are put through chemicals and machines to turn them into something people can use. A recycling plant is a factory that takes items like plastic bottles, newspapers, and aluminum cans and turns them into new things that are usable. A refinery is a factory where materials like bauxite are cleaned and treated to make things like aluminum sheets. And finally, a sorting plant is a place where recyclable objects like aluminum cans, glass bottles, and plastic containers are taken to be sorted and sent to the correct recycling plant. All right, so that concludes our story. Now we're going to talk about recycling in Palm Beach County. So first of all, why is recycling important? Why do we recycle? Well, there's two reasons that we recycle. The first reason is when we recycle, we keep all these items that you see here out of the landfill. And that's good because here in Palm Beach County, we don't have any other landfills, so we don't want our landfill to fill up too soon or else we have nowhere else to put a landfill. Another reason is to save natural resources. Some of you might have heard this word before, natural resources. Natural is something that comes from the earth, and a resource is something that we use. So natural resources are things that come from the earth that we use. So whenever you go to the store, or whenever you buy something, these items have to come from somewhere. Now, in this book, we learned that aluminum and aluminum cans come from bauxite rock or bauxite ore that has to be dug up in the ground. Steel also comes from metal ores in the ground. Glass actually comes from melted sand, and plastics actually come from oil or petroleum. So you're gonna have to dig up all of these items in order to make the things that we buy. And so the more you recycle, the less we have to dig up those natural resources, so we're saving those natural resources. So that's why we want to recycle. Okay, so now let's talk about recycling in Palm Beach County. And if you're not in Palm Beach County, your recycling might be a little bit different, but this is how we do it in Palm Beach County, Florida. We have a dual stream system, or 2 bins. You'll see here I have my blue and my yellow bins. These are the bins that we give our residents, okay? You'll also notice today that I have a little itty bitty garbage. So today we're gonna talk about items that go in the recycling bins and items that go in the garbage, okay? So let's start off with our blue bin. Our blue bin is what we call our commingle bin or our container bin. And this is going to take things that have had food or liquid in them. So things like plastic bottles, okay, you can put in there with the lid on. This is another type of plastic bottle, again, lid on. Things like aluminum cans. Things like glass. We have to be careful with this, okay? We don't want it to break. So we're gonna put it in there nice and easy. Now, a couple of things that people don't know about. Juice boxes and milk cartons and orange juice cartons. These actually can be put in the blue bin as well. The reason is that, again, these have had liquid in them. And if we have a little liquid left over and then we put it in the yellow bin with the paper, it can accidentally spill on the paper and then the paper is ruined and it can't be recycled. So that's why we want to put these items in the blue bin. Another thing I didn't mention was steel cans. So soup cans, tomato cans, these kinds of things go in the blue bin as well. And then I'm sure you guys have gotten fruit, strawberries, blueberries, maybe in something like this. This container can also go in the blue bin. All right, so let's talk about the yellow bin now, our beautiful yellow bin. So paper products go in this yellow bin. So things like an old pie box, right? I ate the pie inside. It's a nice dry food box. This can go in. We don't have to take the plastic off there. Things like paper bags can go in here. Things like our old schoolwork after we get an A and we don't need it anymore can go in there. And you know what else I'm missing? Hold on one second. I'm going to grab it. Things like this cardboard box that I just got after ordering online can be broken down. I would cut this and put it in my yellow bin, okay? Now, I also have some leftover items here. Some items that sometimes people think can go in the recycling bins, but they can't, unfortunately. One of them is a paper towel or napkin. We use this to wipe our face, right, after we've eaten something, maybe some yummy, greasy, cheesy pizza. It's gonna get all that oil and grease and stuff and cheese on this. So we don't wanna put this in the recycling bin. Instead, we wanna put this in our garbage bin. Other things, Capri Sun pouches. Okay, these cannot go in the recycling bin here in Palm Beach County, so we can put them here in our garbage bin. Another thing that people get confused about, aluminum foil and aluminum cans. Okay? All right, so these, even though they're made out of aluminum, are very, very thin, and we do not accept these. So these will go in the garbage as well. Are plastic utensils. Okay? Unfortunately, this is not made out of plastic that can be recycled, so it would go in our garbage. Now, here's a really tricky one. This is an egg carton, right? It's made out of a type of plastic called styrofoam. A lot of people think this goes in the blue bin. Unfortunately, at the Solid Waste Authority of Palm Beach County, we cannot recycle styrofoam. There's a couple of reasons, okay? First of all, collecting this would be very hard. Think about how if the wind blew, it would blow it away, okay? Another reason is because we don't have a machine called a densifier. A densifier is a machine that squeezes all the air out of this and makes it into a little cube, and we don't have that machine. And we would have to have a lot of styrofoam to make a really big bale. Our bales usually weigh about a ton. So unfortunately at the Solid Waste Authority of Palm Beach County, we cannot recycle these, which means they would go in the garbage. Now remember, everything that's going in the garbage is actually going to be burned and turned into electricity at our renewable energy facilities. So although it can't be recycled traditionally, it is recycled in a way because it's turned into electricity. Lastly, and one of our biggest issues are plastic bags. A lot of people think that they can put plastic bags in the recycling bin or maybe put recyclables in the plastic bag and then put it in the recycling bin. Unfortunately, these should not be put in the recycling bin. And the reason is, when it gets to our recovered materials processing facility, or the building where your recycling goes, it floats up off of the conveyor belt and it gets stuck in our machinery. And then on average, 3 times a day, we actually have to put somebody in a harness like Superman, and they have to cut these out by hand, okay? So it's really inefficient for us. It creates a problem. Please, please, please do not put this in the recycling bin. Instead, you can put it in the garbage where it's going to be burned and turned into electricity. Or with both of these items, you can actually take them to local grocery stores like Publix, Walmart, Target, those kinds of stores. They usually have a bin for these and they sell them to companies that can recycle them. But again, in Palm Beach County, Florida, unfortunately, we cannot take these in our recycling bins and we cannot recycle them, okay? So they would go in the garbage. All right, so there's our lesson on recycling and our story time. If you have comments, I will stay on a little bit just to try to answer them live. If not, please leave them in the comments below and we will get to them, okay? Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll be waiting for a few minutes for questions.